Hi guys, and welcome back to Archie Hamilton Racing and to another video where this one is slightly different. You join me in my apartment in London, which I bought, well, it must have been 6 to 8 weeks ago, and it is a dream come true. It really, really is. And I said I was going to do one of these videos, and what we're going to be talking about here is the most honest truth ever to buying a home. If you're a first-time buyer, you're looking for a buy-to-let or whatever, we're going to give you all the secrets on how we made this possible for me and how I afforded to be in this incredible situation living in my dream apartment. This video, there's no sort of fancy shots, it's a very honest chat. So just put it up in the background and enjoy. We go through everything, and we're talking with Seb from Bamford Mortgages, who is the man who sorted my mortgage out. So enjoy, and I'm sure you're gonna learn something as well as I did in this video. Okay, we are now in the car. Oh, first of all, oh god, don't feel very well.
Goodness,
oh,
for goodness
sake, Archie. I'm going to intro you to. This is Seb Bamford from Bamford Mortgages. The man.
Just check if he likes to be called Seb or Sebastian.
Yeah,
Seb will do. Been called a lot worse.
What about Sebi Ballesteros?
Yeah, that will do as well.
That one 10.
Seb is the man, the myth, the legend, and we're just going to run through how we made it all possible for me and James.
Yeah.
So first things first. How has it been made possible? And then we'll go to some questions.
Well, I met James a while ago on Instagram.
You did?
Yeah, I think. We got in touch on there, and then we got chatting away, and obviously found out that I do mortgages. Done them for over 12 years now, and I've done 3 or 4 of yours already, which have been a nice, smooth process. Buy to let.
Very smooth, very nice.
And then you introduced me to Archie.
And that is
which has almost finished me off, to be honest.
And now I'm out.
And then I'm totally out. We're shutting down.
So yeah, I basically a little bit of background to me. All the properties I've had in London, I've rented them. I've spent nearly the best part of £250,000 on rent.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years.
Let's take that in for a second. You just weren't thinking straight.
Take us through the process of how you would look at my case, and then you would see how much could he borrow, everything else, go from there, which lender.
Well, firstly, you had an absolute nightmare. Yes. Because of different flats, but we'll talk through that in a minute.
Yeah.
Mortgage side was actually not too bad, but you were limited on lenders because you're set up as a limited company. A lot of lenders, when they're looking at accounts, they want to see a good 2 years.
Yeah.
And they'll either take an average of a 2 year, or they'll go off your latest one.
Yeah.
So the lender in question, we won't go into anything personal or whatever.
Yeah.
They were happy with one of your years, but they needed to do what's called a projection on your latest year.
Yeah.
Which was looking really good. There was 2 lenders on the market that would have done a projection. Limited companies are absolutely fine. There's no issue with limited companies at all. Everyone says or rings me up, can I get a mortgage from a limited company or a sole trader? Fine, as long as you have, and I can't stress the importance of this, and nor will you, good accountant.
And I have a very good accountant.
You had a good accountant, and then it's literally like sending to a lender PAYE.
And then away you go.
And then away you go. Flats in London, they can
flats
be really
in general,
tricky.
Don't buy a flat. Or if you're going to buy a flat, be ready for 8 months, potentially 6 to 8 months.
So many moving parts with a flat, isn't there, Seb?
Yeah. There is. Management companies, you know.
And they're all just delays because people aren't very efficient, and sometimes it's actually not there's an issue, it's just you cannot get a human to request the piece of paper you need. That
Correct.
could be another 3-4 weeks, month.
Correct.
Yes.
And then when you finally get it, they phrased it in the wrong way, or they haven't put the right name at the top, or they put the wrong date, or something like that.
Yeah.
Again, it's not an issue with the property, it's just drawing the process out longer than it needs to be, isn't it?
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. You chase like forever at your end, didn't you? Trying to get.
You have to have tenacity, don't you, to get it through, actually?
Yes, you have to have tenacity.
Yeah.
James, some important points which you think are important for mortgages that you want to ask Seb to tell the audience. Go.
Yeah, 100%. I would just say that first and foremost, obviously, we've just talked about it. I've used Seb for a number of years now, but you can get so many, there's brokers about, obviously there are, but the reason why I found Seb, and that's comparing Seb to other people I've used before, because I've had property for a while, is that he understands the lender's criteria inside out. So you applying for a mortgage, Archie, and me applying for a mortgage was a totally different process.
Yes.
Because of the way in which we went about income and what have you, and there's no need to kind of go into that. But Seb knows straight away. He will earmark you, like he said, there's 2 lenders for you, but it's different for me. It's not going to be the same people.
No.
So he just knows that process, so you're not getting rejected or wasting time, and he gets everything front loaded up front, so all your paperwork and stuff, so you're not kind of led down a garden path and having your time wasted. And then the other thing is just being realistic, really. Like, and and that sounds ridiculous, but like I would personally, from a kind of logical point of view, go to a broker before I found my dream property, because the dream might still be a dream because I can't get a lend on it. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I think with mortgages, mortgages in general now are so hard to get through, and like you say, there's so much different criteria, and it's different for every individual.
Yeah.
Whether you came to me as a broker or anyone, I'd highly recommend it, because they will all know the market inside out.
You need to educate yourself, don't you?
You do need to educate yourself.
Like ignorant.
Archie, you get him on the other end of the line now. He'll be able to tell you all about mortgages, wouldn't you?
I tell you what, I will be able to talk about mortgages, and as I do know about mortgages, Seb, I'm going to tell you, rates are high. Let's talk about rates.
Yeah, let's talk about rates.
Because is this the right time for people to buy? And
couldn't possibly say.
And I locked myself in on a 4-year fixed before
5 year
for a 5-year. Now, can you quickly just educate people? Is this the right time to buy? Are rates coming down?
He couldn't possibly dictate the market. He's not going to say that.
Okay,
thank you.
I'll tell you what the easiest way of doing it is.
Okay, James is going to rephrase it for me.
I'm going to help you, because obviously you can't tell. No one has a crystal ball. If Seb did, he'd be a multi-billionaire. We all would. But,
okay, go on then.
So the right way to do it is, I would say, Seb, you tell me if it's wrong.
Yeah, go on.
That at the moment, it's no surprise that rates are high.
Yeah.
Which presents people with naturally questions and different options as to what they do. They can either fix in.
Yeah.
They can get a tracker. Probably worth explaining a tracker mortgage. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to put that in now quickly?
Yeah, I think that's important, because like people might be thinking, well, shall I wait? But how long? I mean, they could be waiting years. So I think, what's the market going to do?
Is it a good time to buy? What are interest rates going to do? First thing, no one knows what interest rates are going to do. I've been doing a lot of tracker rate mortgages at the moment for a number of reasons. They're lower than fixed rates, and if you don't know what a tracker rate is, I've done one on my Instagram at Bamford Mortgages.
Yes.
Thank you. It monitors the Bank of England base rate. So the Bank of England base rate is currently 3%, because it's gone up twice recently. So that's quite high. And then the tracker will sit a certain percentage above a Bank of England base rate. So if there's movement in the base rate, the tracker will go up or down. Mm-hmm. These are good because often you're not fixed into a tracker mortgage. So that if you see rates either dropping or going up, you can then come out of your tracker straight onto a fixed rate with no early repayment charge. Jobs are good.
Job is a good one.
Jobs are good. And so I've been doing a lot of those, and they're around
3.8.
Around 3.8%. Thank you, Archie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Straight in.
And they are around 3.88.
3.88.
Yes, exactly. Yes. But the risk of that, I will say, is that obviously I prefer to be fixed personally, because I like to know my payment coming out for 5 years, and at the end of the 5 years I can renew, etc.
If you're a first-time buyer,
yes,
it's a slightly different story. You've never done it before. You're a bit wary about everything. And if you want to be certain of your payments each month, fixed rates are probably the way to go.
As I'm on it, 5% deposits, do they exist?
They do.
Right.
They do. It's just 5% mortgage, 95% mortgage. It is a thing. That goes into loan to value sort of stuff. So the more you put in, the lower the loan to value, and the better interest rates you're going to get. At 95%, it's the highest rate you're going to get. So you might be near a 6% on something like that at the moment. But if you're a first-time buyer and you haven't got the money,
so obviously you've got the whole kind of stress with what a rate's going to do, and as we said, you can't predict them. And equally, I think people are sitting tight thinking, well, I'll wait because we might have a recession and prices will drop and I'll get a bargain. And I know some people are sat there thinking that. Again, totally depends, I think, where you are in the country. My personal opinion as someone that does a bit of property is that the areas that I would buy in are going to be fairly stable. I don't see any big drop-offs unless you had a desperate seller that needed to get out and wanted to react to the market. But most of the areas that are buoyant and people want to buy, there's a queue of people wanting to buy in that area. So I don't see those prices softening. And I think people forget that when they wait a period of time, so if you waited a year or 2 years now thinking, well, the interest rate's 1% higher than I want to pay or 1.5% higher than I want to pay, actually, had you bought 2 years earlier, that property probably, depending on the price of the property, gone up tens of thousands of pounds in value. So therefore, net overall, yes, you've paid a bit more interest, but I would say overall, you're probably in a better position in terms of you've now got an asset worth a lot more than you paid. Yes, you paid a bit more interest, but overall, you're up. So,
yeah.
Again, if you sit tight, I don't think, obviously if you can't afford it or it puts you in a financially reckless position, there's only one option, don't do it. But if you have an option, I would surge forward.
Yeah, you've got to be sensible about it. And if it is your dream home and you really want to go for it, then don't forget you can just refinance. Say you're on the 2-year fixed rate. At the end of it, you can just refinance, hopefully get a better rate, drop the term, whatever you want to do. You're not locked in.
Yeah.
So don't be scared of that.
I would say as well, like you said on the tracker thing, if in doubt and you can do it and you can risk the base rate going up a little bit, it would be, in my opinion, and I'm not the expert in the car, so I'll say what my personal opinion is, I would say that the base rate's probably not going to do a horrendous surge higher. And to that extent, a tracker is relatively safe, subject to a slight bit of kind of movement. So yeah.
Because being the mortgage broker, I have to be very careful what I say on camera, because I can't really give advice or anything like that. But I think you're probably right, James.
Narrow that down, said really, it amounts to quite a simple process for someone. You either lock in for 2 or you go on a tracker, really.
Yeah. On a serious
note, they can choose whatever they want, but
they can choose whatever they want, and it is all individual and subject to your circumstances. And if you come to us or any mortgage broker, we will sit down and chat all of that through with you to make sure you're getting the correct advice and not just whacking you on any old product.
And that's what it's all about.
What is a porting mortgage?
Have no idea.
Which is quite a good question, actually. So a porting mortgage is when you're with a lender at the moment, you're moving house and you want to take your mortgage with you. So it's as simple as that. You're just moving the mortgage over, staying with the same lender, moving it over onto a new property. Reasons people do that is because they're either on a really good interest rate and they want to keep that rate.
Very topical at the moment, Seb, that one.
Very topical. Or you've got early repayment charges, which can be really high on mortgages, so always check those, or ask the broker to talk you through it. So that's basically porting a mortgage, and then often you need to top it up, and then you would have a mortgage that runs alongside your ported mortgage with the same lender. How much deposit do you need for a buy-to-let property? So that's a really good one. They're totally different to residential properties where you live in the home.
Interest rates higher?
Can be higher, not always. But you need about a 25% deposit for a buy-to-let. There's some lenders that will do a 20% deposit.
Yeah.
And the way income or affordability is assessed is totally different. They'll often go off the rental income, or mostly off the rental income. So if the rental income covers the mortgage, job's a good one. The lenders use what's called a stress test as well. I think if I went into a stress test on your video, though, it might shut down your channel.
No, it'll be here all day.
But I've done one again on my Instagram page about a year ago, which explains the stress test from start to finish, and that's how the lenders work.
So it's roughly about 25%.
Yeah.
20 to 25%. Yeah.
And I've actually had, with 2 of mine, so I've actually had them, if they've got any doubt with, like flats and apartments can often be a little bit like there's a query or there's a slight, they're not sure about X or Y.
Yeah.
On 2 of them, they actually went from 25 to 30.
Right.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Mate, it is a lot, and that's what prices a lot of people out of the buy-to-let market, because to find 30%, what's a 1-bedroom flat in London, it starts with a 4.
Yeah.
In an area which has got a high rental income, so you're putting 100 grand in.
Yeah, it's not funny.
And just a general chat of affordability in general at the moment. It's tough to get on the property ladder, isn't it?
It is.
I mean,
it really is.
Especially for first-time buyers that have never done it before, because they're often renting, so they've got that, and then you're trying to save your deposit as well.
As well as your rent.
What about joint couples and anything to do with that? Is that
okay.
You and your partner.
Joint mortgage. There'll be people that are couples. Not me. I'm not in a couple.
Not married.
No, I'm not married. But there'll be people out there.
None of us are.
No.
Got you.
There'll be people that will be thinking, well, I can't afford the full deposit myself. Understandably, it is very expensive to do. My partner has a good job. I have a good job. You bring them together. How's the process? Simple?
Yeah, it's just a joint mortgage application.
And the legal implications of that are that you both, if you bust up, need to understand that.
A lot of mortgages I do are couples, you know, simple, straightforward process. Affordability calculated exactly the same way. Yeah. Things to watch for on affordability is, I think you guys covered a bit of this when you did a video ages ago. Yeah. Any debt, if you can clear it up.
Oh, I've got one more question.
Always clear the debt up if you can. I know it's not always the case if you have cars on finance or whatever.
Get rid of the cars.
Yeah, get rid of the cars.
But the garage.
If you've got credit cards, try and clear them down if you can. Basically, just put yourself in a really good position and use a bit of common sense going forwards, as if you were going into a bank.
CCJ.
Oh, CCJ.
Fatal.
It's not no. Actually, James, it's not a complete fatal. Interest rates are high.
Yeah, it's subprime lending, 9 times out of 10. a CCJ, and they're really hard to get over the line. It all depends on how much the CCJ was for, what it was for, and when it was.
Well, I've seen people not get mortgages because of a parking ticket. I had a parking ticket which was outstanding. I moved address, I didn't direct my post in time, and I got a CCJ on my Experian, which basically, if you clear it in the first 3 months, it disappears, but only because I had alerts on. I basically managed to clear it and it didn't affect my score. If I didn't clear it, I wouldn't have this flat.
You were really worried about it, weren't you? When
it ruined my life.
You're like, yeah.
But you would not have the flat,
More
would you?
serious than people think, yeah.
It's really serious. So the only word of advice that I can give on that is credit. Make sure your Experian is absolutely bang on.
Yeah.
Search My File. It's another one.
Yeah.
It's called Search My File.
Yeah. If you use us, we send you a credit report to fill in, which uses the 3 main providers.
That's like the proper one.
That's the proper one.
But I think as a quick fix, I think all you need to do is just literally pay all your credit cards. Do not miss a payment ever on
even mobile phone bills and things.
Mobile phone bills.
Mobile phone, James, is the biggest one that catches people out.
Really?
Yeah, when they move from different providers. I had one the other day that he missed a £2 bill. A £2 phone bill.
And that's going to not get him a mortgage?
Yeah, he's like moving from one provider to the other. And the lender in question were just like, no. And
you are kidding.
No, he was an existing client of theirs as well.
And they said no?
No, they wouldn't do it.
It'll get you, Archie. We talked about it.
It'll get you bad. It will get you bad. So
Seb's going to help us all. But yeah,
try.
Just basically be on it with your payments and everything. And literally, another thing is if you are buying a house and you are thinking, I get the keys next week, but you haven't completed, I'm going to go and finance a car. Don't do it. When you have the keys, then do it. But until that moment in time, all I can advise
only do it if you know you can afford it, though.
And also, and only do it if you know you can afford it. But don't go messing about with stuff like that. If you're looking for a mortgage, or you're thinking, shall I do it? Shall I not? Set up a call with Seb. Fill out the form. Get involved. They will run through everything. They will basically tell you if you can, if you can't. If you can, they will basically make it happen. I think that's the best thing.
Yeah, because a lot of people come to us, like first-time buyers, think there's no chance I can do it, but they'll just sort of test the water, and then 9 times out of 10 we find a way for.
I think if you're thinking about it in the near future, now's the time to make the inquiry. Now's the time to get involved and see what you need to do, what you can lend, and then from that you can kind of improve.
Yeah, if it's not quite the right time, we can point you in the right direction.
I'll put you in the right direction, and then at that point it will be the right time. And I got in my place at literally the right time, because my rental ends in 3 days' time.